Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tucker Carlson. We're not just talking about another political headline. We're talking about a power move. The kind that shakes alliances, rattles economies, and exposes the raw truth of how nations really see each other. You've seen the clips. Donald Trump mocking Prime Minister Modi, questioning India's trade policies, calling him a killer, even laughing at Indian reporters. But beneath the humor and bravado lies something far more serious. A test of dignity, sovereignty, and global power, because when the world's most outspoken leader publicly humiliates one of America's strongest allies, the question isn't just why he said it. The question is what it means for all of us. Let's be very clear about something most media won't tell you. When Donald Trump calls Narendra Modi a killer or mocks his leadership in front of the world, it isn't some slip of the tongue or a late night gaffe. It's deliberate. This is how Trump plays power politics, with words sharp enough to cut through diplomatic politeness. He doesn't insult randomly. He tests boundaries. Every jab, every exaggerated story, every mocking gesture is a signal who's in charge here. And for a man who spent his presidency demanding fair trade and reciprocity, India was never immune to that scrutiny. For Trump, foreign leaders aren't friends, they're competitors. And Modi, in his eyes, represents a nation that's been too clever for too long in its trade dealings, too silent in its defense commitments, and too independent in its foreign policy. When Trump calls him out, he's really saying, I see through the charm. I want results. It's confrontation wrapped in charisma. But to understand this moment, you have to look back. The tension between Trump and Modi didn't appear overnight. It started years ago when Trump began reshaping the way America viewed globalization. He tore up trade deals, slapped tariffs, and told every country that America would come first. India, a growing economic powerhouse, became one of his favorite examples of unfair trade. Trump repeatedly accused India of slapping tariffs on U.S. goods while taking advantage of American markets. He once said, India charges us tremendous tariffs. I mean, what's that about? He wasn't wrong. But his delivery turned negotiation into spectacle. That's Trump's method: make conflict public, dominate the narrative, and let the opponent sweat under the spotlight. Modi, by contrast, plays the long game. He prefers controlled optics, stadium speeches, warm handshakes, howdy Modi moment in Texas. It's symbolism, not confrontation. Trump's brand is the opposite: unpredictable, unfiltered, raw. So when their worlds collide, sparks are inevitable. Trump's recent remarks, calling Modi a killer, mocking accents, threatening tariffs, aren't just barbs. They're pressure tactics designed to remind everyone, especially India, that America holds the bigger stick. It's not humiliation for sport, it's strategic provocation. Trump knows that making Modi appear small on the world stage forces India into a defensive posture, especially in trade and oil deals. And yet, there's another layer to this. Trump's domestic audience, every insult to a foreign leader doubles as a message to American voters. The tough guy who won't bow to anyone. It's performative dominance. He isn't talking to Modi, he's talking to middle America, the factory worker who believes other countries have taken advantage of U.S. generosity. By mocking Modi, Trump reinforces his brand as the man who stands up to powerful foreigners, no matter how friendly they once were. So when you see that clip of Trump imitating Modi's voice or laughing about India's trade practices, don't mistake it for disrespect alone. It's a political chess move. Trump is saying America gives respect, but on our terms. He's redefining what partnership looks like, turning diplomacy into a televised contest. Modi, cautious and composed, plays by traditional rules. Trump rewrites them in real time. That's the real story here, not just the insult, but the intent behind it. Let's talk about the real issue no one in the mainstream press wants to admit this so. Called trade tension between Trump and Modi isn't just about economics, it's about dominance. When Trump slaps 25, 35, even 50% tariffs on Indian exports, that's not policy, that's a statement. He's saying, we're done being nice, and make no mistake, India's rise has been built partly on America's openness, tech markets, outsourcing, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals. But Trump's worldview is brutally simple. If America's losing, someone else is winning too much. And when he looks at India, He sees a country that plays both sides, buying Russian oil, working with the US, but keeping its options open. That infuriates him. To Trump, loyalty means choosing sides. Modi's strategic neutrality looks like opportunism. The tariffs, the public jabs, the exaggerated stories, they're all part of the same message. America's patience is over. Trump's team wants leverage. Tariffs aren't just taxes, they're tools of submission. They force the other side to react. When Trump says, "We've been very generous to India," he's setting the stage for punishment. It's the art of negotiation. Threaten, insult, and then offer friendship on your own terms. India, for years, benefited from US trade preferences, duty, free exports, relaxed rules. But those days are gone. Trump doesn't believe in giving without getting. His latest wave of tariff talk is meant to corner Modi, force him to play ball on oil deals, defense contracts, and trade access. This isn't diplomacy through dialogue, it's diplomacy through pressure. And here's the uncomfortable truth: it works. Countries respond when they're embarrassed. They compromise when they're hit in the pocket. Trump knows it. Now look at Modi's response, or rather his lack of one: silence, no fairy statement, no public rebuttal, not even a clever counterpunch. Just calm, calculated stillness. And that silence is confusing people. Some call it weakness, others call it wisdom. But there's more happening under the surface. Modi understands that engaging Trump on his own terms, with emotion, with outrage, only amplifies the drama. Instead, he's waiting for the moment when the noise fades and negotiations begin again. That's how Modi operates: absorb the insult, study the move, strike when the cameras are off. It's not submission, it's restraint. And that's something Trump actually respects, even if he'll never say it. But make no mistake, silence comes at a cost. Every time Trump takes a swing and Modi doesn't hit back, the global audience wonders who's really holding the cards. In politics, perception is half the battle. Trump knows that, which is why he keeps the pressure public. He's not just negotiating with Modi, he's shaping how the world sees him. And Modi, playing the long game, is betting that patience will outlast provocation. Two men, two styles, one collision course. One fights with volume, the other with silence. Both want to win, and in the space between those approaches, the future of US-India relations is being written right now. What's happening right now between Trump and Modi isn't just a political spat. It's a fault line running through the global order. When two of the world's biggest democracies start clashing, the ripple doesn't stop at their borders. It moves through oil prices, trade routes, and military alliances. You can already see it. Markets twitch, diplomats panic, and suddenly the rest of the world is forced to pick a side. Because this isn't just about what Trump said or how Modi reacted. It's about what those words represent. When Trump mocks Modi publicly, he's doing more than bruising an ego. He's signaling to the entire planet that the US is willing to flex on its friends just as hard as on its enemies. That's how Trump defines strength: unpredictability. To him, being feared is safer than being liked. Now, think about the message that sends to other powers: Russia, China, even Europe. They're watching this tension like it's a chess match. When America pressures India, Beijing sees opportunity. Moscow sees leverage. Because every time Washington undercuts Delhi, India looks around for backup. That's how power vacuums are formed. And if you've been paying attention, you already know what that means: stronger Barack-yes cooperation, new trade corridors bypassing the dollar, a global shift away from Western dependency. One insult here can set off a domino effect across continents. Trump's critics call it reckless. His supporters call it realpolitik. But whichever side you take, there's no denying the impact. When the US flexes, the world recalibrates. And yet, while the global establishment screams about instability, Trump's strategy is aimed right back home. Every insult, every tariff threat, every mocking remark isn't just aimed at Modi. It's aimed at the American voter who feels cheated by globalization. You can almost hear it in his tone. Why should we treat India better than our own workers? That's the heart of Trumpism. Take complex foreign policy and boil it down to a kitchen table grievance. The elites call it crude, the voters call it truth. He knows how to turn geopolitics into theater that middle America understands. In his rallies, it's not tariff reform, it's We're done getting ripped off. Simple, emotional, effective. But there's another layer here that almost no one talks about. Trump doesn't just want to punish India. He wants to remind Washington, whose boss, the same bureaucracy that once praised strategic partnerships, now has to admit that global friendships come second to domestic politics. Trump's America isn't about diplomacy for its own sake. It's about leverage. So when he fires off an insult at Modi, it's also a warning shot to the permanent Washington class. Don't expect him to play nice with errors, anyone. That unpredictability, that refusal to follow the script is why Trump terrifies the establishment. He doesn't care about the special relationship. He cares about deals, and deals in his world start with domination. That's what's really at stake here. Not just an insult, but a reminder that power in Trump's mind is